Good, great evening to it's your girl, Keely Taverner, psychotherapist. I'm here, I'm live. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about how to be happy. Good evening, bullies of Bucks. How you doing, my brother? Good to see you out there. So, Keely Taverner here, talking about how to be happy. Because who wants to be sad? Who wants to be depressed? Yeah, none of us are really wanting that for ourselves. We're not really wanting that for our lives. Yet, I meet many people at the Key for Change Head and Mind Quarters here in West London. And one of the things that people often bang about is, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. Reminds me of one of those 80s videos, 80s adverts about wanting to be happy. The challenge is, if you want to be happy, then you need to learn what makes you real sad. And some of us, we're not very good at working out what makes us feel sad. Hey there, official Flexitarians, good to have you on. You just got me, I saw you guys, I started smiling already. Reminds me of the live we did last week. Thank you very much for that. Big up Franz, welcome, my sister. Hello. So as I said, your girl Key is here. We're talking about the challenges of life. How to be happy. We all want to be happy. Who wants to have a miserable life? We all want to be living our #best life. The reality is you have to be very clear about what makes you unhappy. And for many of us, the things that make us unhappy are often unconscious. They're often unhelpful learned patterns from our childhood. I know nobody wants to go back. We all want to surge forward. But the reality is, I'm afraid to tell you, my dear friends, we are humans and we have a mind, we have memories, we have trauma, we have attachment styles. So I'm afraid some of the ways that you screw yourself over and sabotage yourself and make yourself miserable is usually steeped in some of our unconscious patterns. So if we truly want to learn to be happy, and I do often think of myself as being someone who is of a cheerful disposition, then there are a few things that it's helpful for us to understand about life. And in one of my recent posts on my Facebook page, I did what I called the recipe for depression. And if you can look at the recipe for depression, it gives some important clues about what we need to think about, consider, to be about in our lives if we truly want to be happy. It's your girl Keely Taverner, psychotherapist. If you have any questions, remember, I can chat all day long, yeah? I'm a talker. But if you have any questions about how to be happy, let your girl Keely Taverner know, because otherwise I'll just be on one and I'll be going on and on. And, well, do I like the sound of my own voice? Well, it's not actually bad. But it's beneficial if you guys ask me questions. So if you want to be happy, one of the things that we need to think about is our circle. Because being happy is influenced by the people in and around us. Some of the people you have around you, my friends, are not healthy for you. They're not good for your well-being. They're actually detrimental to your well-being. And that's the challenge. Some of us are attached to people that aren't always healthy for us, and we keep them near. The longer you do that, the reality is you will not be able to reach the nirvana that you regard as being happy. So firstly, we need to think about who is in our circle and is there excess luggage that we need to let go of. But if you're unhealthily attached to unhelpful people, that's going to traumatize you. Because you're going to be like, oh my God, no, I can't let him go. So what are you going to do? Invoke, hold on. You're going to hold on. And in your holding on, sistering, you make yourself miserable. Don't think you go Key out here. Don't sometimes feel inadequate being single all the time. Got no one to chat to. Lonely days, lonely nights. But you know what? I'd rather that than the trauma of having the wrong people in my circle. Because that don't make it, as they would say where I grew up. That don't make it, yeah? It's not helpful. Some of us find it exceptionally difficult to be with ourselves. And as long as you find it exceptionally difficult to be with yourself, you're going to have somebody there to distract you from you. And for a person who wants to be distracted from themselves, you need to have certain people around you. And that's when life can get very hectic. The challenge is, can you do you? Yeah? Can you do you? If you can't do you, you got problems. Because, I don't know about you, but the only person you're ever going to be left with is you. I'm a mother. My kids are now, what, 22 and what, 19? 20, 19, right? They ain't interested in me anymore. What do they want? Money and stuff, right? So you're going to end up with you. Some of us, we get caught up in our roles, right? We get caught up in our roles. We're a mom and this, that, the other. And our whole life is shaped around being a mom. The challenge is your children get older, they no longer need you. And if your whole identity is built upon you being a mother, and now they're looking to leave, you're going to be one of the mothers, we call them the mothers that smother. You're not going to want the child to leave. You're going to then start to keep the child metaphorically on the breast. No, the child needs to leave and go. These are the mothers that smother. This goes out to all the people who've ever dated someone and felt like why is the mum in everything? You know, that is incredibly important for us to pay attention. They're the mothers who don't detach from the child. These are important factors about how to keep yourself happy. You want to be happy? Well, you need to stop ignoring how you feel. That's another one as well. Some Simple Simon stuff here, right? Acknowledge your feelings, yeah? To the people from the black community who I often, many people I support from the black community, my peeps. When we say, I feel some type of way, if you know what I'm talking about, this is cultural. I'm keeping it cultural tonight. Key, it made me feel some type of way. Like, what does that mean? It made me feel some type of way. My peoples, we got to understand what we mean by these things. We need to start to express our emotional world in a more expansive language. It made me feel some type of way. I always say to my clients, what do you mean by that when you say it made you feel some type of way? Like, let's get into the difficulty of our emotions. The challenge is we find ways to say things, but not to truly go into the depth. I'm sorry, my people, but sometimes the answers are in the depths. You can't just do superficial. Sometimes you gotta go deep. Afraid to tell you, but it's the uncomfortable truth. It's your girl Key, just naming 5 things to help you live your best life. Because you want to be happy. Fair? Fair. Cool. The third thing is your relationship with fear. I recently did a mastermind class on overcoming fear. Your relationship with fear determines the quality for your life. Yeah. So if you're, if you don't come out of your comfort zone and you're someone who constantly stays in the comfort zone, and I see this is what often happens, people, so like, if you say a relationship breaks down and then you're suffering because you're hurt and they've hurt you, sometimes it's very difficult for people to move on from that because it takes them into the unknown. Whereas if I suffer for love, if I am still grieving for that relationship, the benefit of that, because there's always a benefit, is that you stay in the comfort zone that you've created for yourself. Because outside of that is where something different begins. Some of us have convinced ourselves we'll never move on. And if you've convinced yourself you'll never move on, the reality is you won't. Simple Simon stuff. So what I'm talking about here is if you want to be happy, then one of the recipe is to begin to face our fears, to challenge ourselves. For so many people I've seen here at Key for Change, they talk about dreams and aspirations that they want for themselves. And, I'm about, I am passionate about helping people to bring out their dreams. It's one of the reasons why I'm also a coach. But the challenge is for some of us, as long as the dream is realistic, the challenge is so many people speak about their dreams as if it could never, ever happen. And if you are someone who has a dream or an ambition, but you speak about it as if it's all like it would never happen, then that means that, we need to look at what is your thinking around that? What is your low expectation of yourself? Because I think our dreams and our aspirations for ourselves are the royal road to authenticity. They are very important for the well-being of you as a person. How to be happy is to pursue your dream. That doesn't mean your journey will be smooth and easy, but that is the glory. That is the test. because life is life, right? So if we're going to live it, we're going to die. So why not take it as an opportunity to explore and unfold what you love? You know, your girl Key is sitting here. This, like, I sat on IKEA checkouts for many, many, many years. So, you know, something happened to me there. As it probably happens to lots of people. We all have a dream. We all have an aspiration. The key is, what are you going to do about it? Often, especially as we get older and lots of responsibilities come onto us, we begin to give up on our dreams. And for lots of the women that I've helped, supported through their intimate relationship breakdown, what I would say is, we've spent so much energy investing in our lover, in the potential of the lover that we have bedded. We've lost ourselves. And if you're in any relationship where you've lost yourself, red flag, there's a problem. Because, you know, losing yourself is a surefire recipe for anxiety and depression. This is when we wake up and we're just doing duvet days after duvet days. We're doing the box set binges. We're doing Uber Eats, and we don't want to leave our houses. That's when it's all gotten too much. So we need to be particularly mindful about that. Pay close attention to yourselves, my people. Too many of us are watching our lovers, or your link, or your partner, or your boyfriend, or your girlfriend. And in doing so, when all your energy is consumed by the other, what happens to you? It's called self-neglect. And the longer self-neglect happens, and you might get annoyed because you have an expectation that other people should do X, Y, Z for you, it's just one way you make yourself unhappy. So this is about how you make yourself happy. How you make yourself happy is that you begin to take responsibility for what it is that you want for your life. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. I'm talking tonight about how to be happy. People associate myself, my profession, with misery and problems and stress. Yeah, people do come to seek out therapy for those issues. However, beyond that is a nirvana. Beyond that is self-discovery. Beyond looking at the problem becomes an opportunity for you to reinvent yourself. Big up my lady Dimple. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm taking questions, statements, comments tonight about how to be happy. Yeah. But the challenge is, for if you're someone who lives by fear, fear begins to control your life. This is how your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, because you don't step out your comfort zone. Because what do you want? You want to be in control and you want predictability. Well, life don't work on your terms. Yeah. So the more you're trying, remember, when you want life to work on your terms, you're fighting life. And life will always whoop you because you are not bigger than life. Yeah. Simple Simon stuff. You have to know the order of stuff. You have to know the order of. It could get deep. Let me just leave that there. It's your girl, Keely Taverner, tonight, talking about how to be happy. Firstly, I've talked about, if you want to be happy, you need to stop that people-pleasing stuff. Not good for you. And in the end, it diminishes your own happiness. Why? Because you contort and bend yourself. You say yes to everybody else and no to you. Secondly, you ignore your feelings, sweep them under the rug, act like you're all right when you really ain't. That is a sure recipe to make you unhappy. So if you want to be happy, how about we begin to acknowledge how we feel instead of suppressing, ignoring them, or trying to outthink them. This goes out to all the logical people out there who try to outthink how you feel. When you try to outthink how you feel, your feelings will catch up with you. It's just a matter of the tick-tock clock. Your feelings will catch up with you. And when they do, they can usually be quite ferocious. Why would the feelings be ferocious? Because you kept ignoring them and denying them. That's where we end up driving and tears just start streaming down our eyes, or we're in a meeting and all of a sudden we start crying and we're like, hold on, where did that come from? Thirdly, your fears. If you want to be happy, I'm afraid to tell you, my friends, we have to face some of them fears. You just got to face them, but we do that in a bite-sized fashion. But facing your fears is fundamental. When you don't face your fears take over and your world shrinks. Why does it shrink? It shrinks because you then can only function in the confines of your comfort zone. And I don't know about you, but you cannot grow in your comfort zone. You will stagnate. And this is one of the reasons why facing our fears is so important for us, because it expands us. And humans, by design, are not meant to be stuck. If you look at anything in nature, it grows, it changes, it evolves. And so humans, when we get stuck and everything stays the same, we decline. Why? Because we are fighting the essence of life. The essence of life is growth. Simple Simon stuff. Number 4, you want to be happy? Well, stop settling for what you get. Some of us accept and tolerate foolishness. Yes? And as long as you tolerate and accept foolishness, it will compromise your capacity to be happy. Simple Simon stuff. If you've got any questions, let your girl Key know, because I'm just hitting them out the park tonight. No long ting. Number 5. So you want to be happy? Lower your expectations of people. Some of us have got expectations that are sky high and our neck hurts. The higher your expectations of others leaves you vulnerable, because often people let themselves down, let alone another human being. So you need to pay attention to that. Frustration, regret, anger often comes from high expectations of others. Sometimes, for lots of us, pick up the empath crew, you give with an expectation that you'll get back in return. You think what is normal or common decency for you would be common decency for others. Your girl Key is here to tell you that behavior right there will make you unhappy. So if you want to be truly happy, how can you begin to surrender that? Let go of that. Let go of those high expectations of others and accept and embrace that this is what you do, this is your level, and not everybody's functioning at your level. That was a game changer for me. When I realized, hold on, this is my level and not everyone's on that. And that helped me to surrender higher expectations of people that end up hurting me. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. I'm here tonight. We're having a conversation about how to be happy. Any questions you have, if there's anything I've said that's kind of like rattled your cage, feel free to put it below. Otherwise, I'ma just carry on. The 6th thing, if you want to be happy, is inaction. And the reason why I put in action, you want to be happy, you need to start taking action. For many of us, what happens is we don't take action. Yeah, we may want that dream I spoke about. We have the desire for this dream and ambition, yet we take 0 action. That's a problem. That's how you become unhappy. And as the years go by, your dream seems further and further and further and further away from you because we didn't take any action. And for many of us, we want things for ourselves, but we don't take any action. So we sit there, we talk about it, we don't do about it, we moan about it, but we don't do about it. If you truly want to be happy, sometimes it's in your benefit, not always, especially if you're an overly impulsive person, it causes you problems. But if you're an overthinker, one of the benefits is to take action. Nike told us, didn't they? Just do it. Just do it. Many a times in therapy sessions, I'll encourage my clients who will be speaking about at length about XYZ. And I'll be like, well, why can't you do it right now? Why not right now? Seize the moment. This is one of the reasons why I created the Key for Change. Be present, be here, be now bands. Because I want to encourage the people, especially my overthinker crew, to be in the now. How can you be in the now? What actions can you take right now to assist you with what it is that you want for yourself? If you've got people around you that ain't no good for you, what stops you from blocking them? I'll tell you what stops them from blocking them is that you usually have a long story attached to why you can't block them. Yeah. And that's fine because that depends on your particular situation, because we don't want anybody getting beaten up or any of that kind of harassment. But we need to pay attention to the stories we tell ourselves. Taking action in the now takes you out of overthinking and it takes you into the doing. Humans are experiential people. We're experiential beings. So you can only ascertain. So many of us live by fear, and fear is all in your head. Fear is based in your head, which then becomes your reality. When you take action, you get out of your head. You've now taken an action which is environmental, and that is an opportunity for you to engage with the environment. Wait, I hope I don't sound too scientific. I'm sounding very wordy today. You can tell I've been in the books, right? But that's where you then begin to see who you truly are. Until you do about it, all you have in your head is a hypothesis about how you think it will be. If you truly want to be happy, you need to check your relationship with hope. Many of us live in hopeless hope. Hope needs to be grounded in reality. If you are not having, if you're hopeful that things will change, you're hopeful he'll ask you to marry you, you're hopeful that this will happen. Put whatever, in the sentence however you want. The challenge with living in hope is that hope needs to be grounded in reality. Yeah. So if your hope is not grounded in reality, it means that you have hopeless hope. Hopeless hope is based in fantasies in your mind's eye. Yeah, that's why we need hope that is based in reality and that we are taking steps to bring to fruition. Too many of us are living in hope, hoping that person, Barbara, John, and Jim will do X, Y, Z to assist you. People have their own levels of motivation and they won't be the same as yours. So it's about how can you take responsibility for your life. Taking responsibility for your life is a surefire recipe to be happy. But for some of us, we don't take responsibility. We farm out responsibility. You can often see this in our intimate relationships. And this is how couples get stuck. Because this is one of the reasons why relationships can fall out. Very good, strong relationships is because all of a sudden, over time, an expectation happens that my partner should make me happy, and the partner has that you should make me happy. When you have two people expecting that each person should make them happy, you're going to have a problem. You need to be responsible for your own happiness. But we get confused and we expect others to make us happy. We also need to be careful. You want to be happy? Then you need to stop. You need to be more discerning about who you give your loyalty to. Many of us gift the precious gift of loyalty to some people who are not worthy of the gift of loyalty. If you gift your loyalty to people who are unworthy, or you won't let go of them because you're loyal, that is a surefire recipe for problems. Be loyal to you. Be loyal to your dreams. Be loyal to your ambitions is the secret here. Loyalty is a wonderful quality, but it needs discernment, and we need to think carefully and mindfully about who we gift that to. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. I'm here tonight talking about how to be happy. And my last reason, in terms of what makes people unhappy, you want to be happy? Stop worshipping people. People worship is terrible for humans because you put people on pedestals, you have high expectations of them, and anytime you pedestal a human being, you dehumanize them. Humans are not perfect. Idolizing humans is a recipe for depression. So if you want to be happy, stop idolizing other people because they will fall from grace and it will disturb and rattle you. This is about how can you take responsibility for yourself. Now, if being happy is a wonderful thing, but as I say to my clients, happiness is momentary. You can't remain in a perpetual state of happiness. Life don't work like that. And I think this is one of the things that causes people a lot of depression. This expectation that they should be happy and happy and happy, and that the challenges of life should be buffered from their door. Sorry, this is not Hollywood. This is not a movie. It's called real life. Better to try to ascertain contentment. Because contentment isn't dependent whether you have the fancy car or the house. Contentment is about being in the now. Be now. So you appreciate whatever you have in the now. That's a surefire recipe for you to be happy, in my humble view. But if you want to be happy, you have to look at what are the factors that make people depressed. And I've outlined 10. And if you want to know more, feel free to inbox me and I can tell you them all day. Or we can go to my website, go to the Key for Change resources page where I've got tools to encourage, to inspire you. So if you've got any question or anything I've said has rattled your cage, I'm here to tell you that if you want to learn how to be happy, you need to understand what causes depression. Because if you understand that, the flip happens in the opposite side. It's a journey. I hope that is helpful to someone out there. Oh, we've got a statement. Sounds silly. I am still trying to work out what happiness means. Aha, contentment. Yes, contentment. But, you know, we don't hear about contentment enough. Just another quality that I don't hear. You know, I see all the people on TV talking about mental health this and mental health that. I don't see people talking about contentment. I don't see that at all. And I always find it very curious. Contentment is the ultimate revolution. And I tell you why contentment is the ultimate revolution, because it's like about saying I'm okay as I am. And in the capitalist society that we live in, we are encouraged to feel inadequate. See, I'm supposed to feel inadequate because I don't have a perfectly shaped eyebrow. I'm supposed to feel inadequate because I've got patchy, different colour skin, different tones. I'm supposed to feel inadequate because I'm not a size, what is it now? Size 8, size 0? I'm supposed to feel inadequate because I wear size 9 shoes. What can I do? God gifted me with a big foot. That's why contentment is the revolution. Contentment is the revolution. It's about saying I accept myself as I am. So that's my secret to happiness, how to be happiness. I'm sorry I ain't got bells and whistles and fancy cars and long lashes and fancy nails. It's really not that complex. Contentment, being grateful for what you have in the now. But like I said in the 10 things I outlined, the recipe for depression. If you understand depression, if you understand the recipe for depression, the ingredients that feed and fuel depression, then understanding that the opposite is how you find happiness. Thank you for that, Dimple. Beautiful question. I'm really glad that you took that away. But like I said before, contentment is the ultimate revolution. It means I'm doing me and I accept me with my flaws and all. This is why acceptance is so difficult for perfectionists. This is why perfectionists are so vulnerable to depression. The challenge with perfectionism is you know, often they can be regarded as high achievers and in great positions, but there's also a shadow side to perfection. You know, perfection means that you know, we're often really hard with ourselves. Contentment is saying, I accept myself as I am, warts and all. And it also means, ladies and gentlemen, if someone comes into our life, we want them to accept us as we are, in the here and the now. Let's not go trying to super change ourselves. We're always up for a little bit of, you know, taking the edge off of X, Y, Z. But fundamentally, how can we accept ourselves that if someone wants to integrate and build their lives with us, that to a certain degree, this is what you get. Too many of us are trying to morph and change and do all kind of backflips and somersaults to be something we're not for somebody else. And when you do that, you're setting yourselves up for a whole heap of problem. Trust me, I've been there. I remember when I was a wife, I started ironing shirts. That was really never good, because when I didn't want to iron shirts anymore, I was like, oh yeah, I'm all domesticated. I'll iron your shirts. I'll iron your shirts. Jesus Christ, man. Every Sunday this man wanted his shirts ironed. I was like, listen, your girl Key don't live like that. I think I've set myself up for a whole heap of problems here. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. I'm doing just this quick live about how to be happy. I hope this may have been benefit to you or to someone you know. If someone you know is seeking a therapist or you think they need support, feel free to inbox me, because we know it's serious times out here and we all need the support. If you have any questions, as I said before, get in touch. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. Quick live on how to be happy. Do take care of you, because if you don't, no one's coming to save you. You have to learn to save yourself. We keep it ultra real around here. Take care of you.